this is Veronica Villanueva. You're listening to Your Beautiful Day on the Gratitude Radio Network.
Hello and welcome to Your Beautiful Day on the Gratitude Radio Network. I'm Jen Mogg, Mother of Gratitude, and I want to welcome you today into a beautiful life of gratitude, to where you can bring that with you everywhere you go. And on today's program, we have a very, very special person. But first, let me introduce you to Neil and Pearl Sharenza.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey everybody, it's great to be here. I'm so excited to learn more from our host today, Jen.
Yeah, and Pearl, it's a really cool thing because I love the completion of this story. This is another shero that we have, right? Because you're outnumbered. You're outnumbered over there, Neil.
Hey, you know what? I'm starting my own view with you two, right?
We need the balance. We need the balance.
Exactly. And I can out talk everyone. So I just kind of make sure I have this great story. And that's what we've had so far on Your Beautiful Day since it's launched, is really tremendous stories of gratitude, going through such struggles or accomplishments to get where they are today. So introduce our guest.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, she's pretty amazing. And you guys know I love amazing people. It's Veronica Villanueva, because I have to say it like that because it's so cool, and so is she. There isn't anyone on this planet, I don't think, that has been touched by cancer. We have all grown up with it. And if for some reason it has touched everyone from children to adults, no one's exempt anymore, no matter how healthy or unhealthy your life is. And when she received the bombshell of her life 4 years ago, where her doctor looked at her in the eyes and said she had 6 months to live, that's heartbreaking. But she did something that was really like Wonder Woman. She didn't accept it. She rejected it. And she created a healthy lifestyle and created a healthy life and overcame it. So welcome to the show, Veronica.
Jen, you have me in tears already. I'm, we've been on 5 minutes. Thank you so much for having me. This is wonderful to be able to be in front of all of you guys and, have the fortunate and the time to actually be here to tell you my story, to be alive and to be well and to be thriving and share my story is something I knew would happen, that I believe would happen. But before that, I knew I had a lot of work to do.
Absolutely.
So take us through the beginning, because you're a cordon bleu trained chef. You're also a certified health coach. And so you're used to the thoughts of alternative medicine, because I'm very open to that. What were some of the symptoms that caused you to go and get diagnosed?
Well, it all happened a little over 4 years ago. Actually, I should say 4.5, because it started with having a really bad divorce. And it actually lasted 4 years, just as long as, from the time I was diagnosed. I just got legally divorced October of last year. So while I was fighting to save my life, I was also fighting my ex-husband and the judge and his attorney. So it was really stressful. It was supposed to be an amicable divorce. It turned out to not be an amicable divorce. I was shocked because my ex-husband and I knew that we were going to get divorced, but we just waited until our children all went to college. So when my last child, my son, went to college, fall of 2015, that's when I told my ex-husband December to start the divorce process. And by February, I started having back pain. And the divorce was such a betrayal because I had realized that my ex-husband had pre-strategized the divorce. So he had over a decade of planning it. And I had nothing, even though I live in California, we got married in California. Long story short, basically I got screwed. I trusted him, and he had over a decade to hide all the assets in different continents. And I had forensic accountants internationally. Anyway, long story short, I fought to claim what was mine and lost in every way. And that's another topic. That's another woman empowerment subject and I'm not a stupid person, but boy, did I feel stupid after what happened. I was blindsided. And I guess to me, it was the betrayal. It's in 1 year, I went from having a horrific divorce, diagnosed with cancer. My kids were turned against me. And by February, I was feeling pain in my back. I wasn't sleeping. I didn't eat. I mean, I kid you not. I had Tootsie Roll and coffee because I realized I had to work more. I mean, it's almost like I felt like, yes, I had attorneys, but I also had to work myself. I had to look for texts. I mean, he had texts from 12 years ago that he printed. I didn't even know you can print texts. So I felt so behind. And what was I thinking? Thinking that I would cram and I could catch up to him, but no, I couldn't. So that was February. I had the pain. By September, I was diagnosed with stage 4 incurable metastatic lung cancer because I rushed myself at 4:00 in the morning to the hospital where they found 1.6 liter of fluid in my right lung. So basically I had fluids up to my collarbone.
Oh,
So, like a large Evian water, that's how much fluid I had in my right lung.
Oh, Veronica, I'm so sorry. You and I are parallel, girl. My hair turned white. I've been insomniac since 2013, and when I did CBD, this is when it stopped coming.
Wow.
Yeah, you and I are completely on parallel, and that's when I became the mother of gratitude. And I have my mantra: you're blessed, even though you can't see it, even though everything around you is you're going to end up homeless, right?
Yeah.
You're blessed. And if you can receive that you're blessed, then you know that you're loved. And if you can receive that you're loved, then you can understand that you're sacred and your life is sacred. And so my mantra from my divorce, that was as horrific as yours, was you're blessed, you're loved, and you're sacred. And that's the basis of a beautiful day.
Yeah. Wow. Well, to me, when you said that, you're blessed, to me, faith, having faith.
Right.
Having faith despite feeling like you're in hell.
Exactly. And that's so difficult to do when you're suffering like you were suffering.
And I was suffering from all ends.
Yeah, because you think about you only have 6 months to live. You're getting a divorce. So you're missing any love to get through this challenge of being diagnosed to then that time. And you think it's over. Like everything in your life is falling apart in seconds. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yes, it absolutely felt like my entire life. I didn't recognize it anymore. It's like, whose life is this? Yesterday, it wasn't like this. Why is my life today like this? And so when I received the diagnosis, I listened I really listened on the diagnosis because I know cancer, but I knew nothing about it aside from you die from it, right? And but I stopped listening when they gave me the prognosis of 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
So I always say, listen intently to the diagnosis, but plug your ears when doctors are playing God to you and telling you how much time you have. So
powerful.
Yeah, I had to. I had 5 doctors in front of me telling me basically that I had less than 6 months to live, even though I asked them, so let's do this. We've got work to do. Let's cure this. And they said, there's nothing we can do for you. We can't even do chemo and we cannot do radiation. It's all over your upper body.
And see, I'm going to let Pearl ask a question. I heard of somebody in that same type of situation. They would just go to hospice care and they were done. Like, meaning they gave up. A lot of people, when they're given something like this, they're heading to hospice care. They're knowing their life's going to end and that's it. And then they've given up and they're not going to fight. And that's powerful, Pearl. I can't imagine being given that death sentence in a way, Pearl. I mean, what
No,
are your
I mean,
thoughts?
it's just everything you're saying, Veronica. It's just, it brings so many emotions, right? So the part about the divorce, and then the kids, you know, we love our kids, and to know you're going through that, and then receive that, like you said, your life changed in a minute, right? But I love what you said. It's so powerful to go, you know what, the doctors can't play God. It's all about a mindset. And I love that you said that, because that's what I do too. When I coach the women that I work with, I'm like, it's a mindset. You can, if you want to walk out this door and tell yourself, okay, I'm going to die in 6 months, you're going to die in 6 months. But if you want to fight and you want to do everything you can, you take control, right? And that's what you did. You took control is what you did, right? And tell us how you took that control.
That's chapter 1 in my book, actually, Mindset. And when people ask me, so why are you alive? And I said, because I wanted to be alive. I believed that I wanted to be alive, and I took actions. You know, having the language to say that in front of 5 doctors who all are playing God, and I was by myself, representing myself, not being able to breathe even as I'm speaking to these doctors. And I didn't realize that you require so much breathing when you talk, you know? And so, yes, the mindset is a huge part, is why I'm here, because I rejected, like you said, not the diagnosis, because I had to accept that, right? But the prognosis of me, being given a death sentence. So I just knew, I told them, I said, look out there, it's blue sky. The world out there needs me. I'm a good person. I'm here to do many good things. There is no way I'm not going to be here. So you don't know what to do. So you can't be my doctor. Unless you believe in me, you can't be part of my team. So I went searching. I educated myself. I feel like I got a PhD in cancer, and I changed my life. And thank God, I always believe now, especially now, life prepares you for your big day. And I got my big day. And if you've lived a life where you have said yes to all the experiences that you are gifted from the universe, from God, then you will have the strength, the courage, the resilience, the determination to figure out later on, what that big challenge is. For me, it's cancer. So when you say mindset, I think life prepared me for this. And that's why I really believe that I was meant to have cancer, because God believed that I had the right mindset, a very empowered mindset, and also that I had the heart to turn around and help people heal themselves, because I've healed myself. Because I really believe that when people heal themselves of something so horrific like cancer, you cannot not share what you've done. To me, that's a crime. Because like you said, cancer is an everyday disease. It is a modern disease that people are still thinking it's genetic. No, what I had wasn't genetic. It was lifestyle induced, metabolic induced, like most cancers these days. So yes, mindset is huge. That's why I want to change the conversation that doctors have with their patients from death sentence to life sentence. If you're going to talk about cancer, we live in a world of duality, left and right, white and black. You can't just tell me that I have 6 months to live. What I want is for doctors to also tell other patients what other patients are doing. What is the statistics of people like myself? So if doctors are giving, a prognosis of 6 months, they can also say, well, we also know that people are surviving cancer these days. These are the numbers.
Yeah.
I think it's only fair to do that, because like you said, Neil, thank God that didn't happen to me. Thank God I had the strength to say no to these doctors. It's hard to say no to 5 gentlemen in their white coat, convinced, really believing that I had less than 6 months to live. So I think most people would have gone home, curled up in a corner, and just became depressed and just waited to pass away. and go to a hospice. No, I wasn't going to do that. No. So I took it on myself and I prayed to God and I said, okay, it's me and you. I promise to be alert. I promise to watch for signs. Please send me signs. But I did this to my body. So I will fix it, but I need your help. I can't do this by myself. I will be alert, put together all the signs that you're giving me, and I know I will get out of this situation sooner than later. And 9 months later, I received my first clean scan. So I'm...
And a lot of people don't understand when you're going through a divorce, that's when there's some parts of life, like a death, but the divorce is like right up there on us getting cancer from having a horrific divorce. Even if it's a gentle divorce, it's still there. When you've gone through something that alters your DNA, you're really high up on the ladder for that.
Well, it's the perfect environment for a disease to. It's a perfect environment for a disease to make a home in your body.
It spreads. And so I went to an acupuncturist to help me make sure that I was deflecting all the stuff that was coming at me. And like you, I asked for a sign. I kept asking heaven and demanding it. And I ended up with a truck in my front yard. It was across the street from my house. I hear all this noise. I'm like, what the hell is going on? It's a truck full of signs, Veronica. It's like Evan Almighty. It's like signs. And then they're all going, you're going in the right direction. It's all, it's those type of signs this way. And I'm like, okay, I can't make that up. And there's no construction. So it amazes me how that happens. Now, you had a lot of grace when you went through this. And that's why your book is so appropriately named. I love the name.
Well, how often do you see grace and cancer in one line?
You don't.
Right? You don't. And even the title was given to me by God. And that's a funny story because a friend of mine was over the night before and said, V, because I was thinking of naming my book, The Cancer Was the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. A little long. So my friend said, that's a little long, V. I said, I know. And I said, okay, I'm going hiking tomorrow. So mental note, I'm going to think of a book title during my hike. So 2.5 hours later, I'm still hiking. Okay. So I'm saying, okay, you're trying to control this. You're continuing to hike because you have not found your title. Surrender, go back home, take a shower. And I was still writing my book then. Then my assistant came. And as we were writing, and all of a sudden, I went, oh my God. And he's looking at me and I said, oh my God. Then tears started coming down. Like I couldn't control it. I said, I know my title. And then my best friend calls. I mean, the timing is just crazy. I know my title. And then the same time I knew my title, I received a download of what the book should look like, the cover. And that to me is a miracle. That to me is the sign. That to me means, like you said, I can't make it up. I've had so many situations like that with hummingbirds too. So whenever I need to make a decision, I call for my hummingbird, and my hummingbird comes every single time. Well, and I tell you, faith. I'm sorry?
There's your angel.
Yes, I have angels. And I mean, most people think I'm a little crazy. And I'm like, I'm a lot crazy. You have to be a lot crazy to say to the doctors, I'm going to live. Watch me live. I'm not going to die. I'm not going anywhere. And to have such a goal like that, you have to be a little bit crazy. So people think I'm crazy when I start talking about hummingbirds and all the signs I've gotten, all the grace I've gotten. And it is, unless you've experienced it, I guess it's really hard to really understand and believe. But isn't that the definition of faith? Is to believe in something that you haven't seen? Just know it. That's faith. And I'm a big believer now. In fact, you speak about your mantra. My mantra is part French and English. It's respirer, tout ira bien, believe, meaning respirer is breathe, which is something I will never take for granted. Tout ira bien, everything will be fine, believe.
All right.
I said this to myself every single time before I would go into my doctor's office to interpret my scan. Because it is, I have to say to myself, the tumors are gone. You're just here for formality. And it's true, because every single time I received a scan, the tumors were either disappearing or the size was getting smaller. I didn't get any more. Not that I had room in my body for any more. But yeah, no, it was, I wasn't alone. I didn't feel alone. I knew, I believed, I felt my angels. I felt my father who's passed away. And you talk about resilience and strength. My father passed away. He died of a plane crash when I was not even 7 years old.
Right.
So these are the things that shape us, our character, that build our muscle of resilience, our muscle of courage and strength. And I'm one of these people, I didn't have an easy life. I didn't. And I think that's why I am who I am today. I am unshakable after this.
Great. Yes.
I mean, there could be a tornado, a storm, and I'm in the middle of it and I am solid. And that's freedom. That's freedom. And
All right.
I have cancer to thank for that.
Interesting. Pearl, I mean, to hear someone as brave as she is, what are your thoughts?
Oh my gosh. I'm thinking like of so many different women that I've come across with that just, this podcast is going to get shared, with so many people, but me personally, there's so many women in my small circle too. My mom right now, Veronica, just recently got diagnosed with breast cancer, right? And I had the same conversation you did, like if there's good news, bad news in cancer, she got diagnosed with cancer with a milk jug. So they say that's the best cancer you could get, a breast cancer, right? But we were having the conversation about, okay, Mom, what are you eating? What are you putting in your body? All those things you talked about. And it's so important. That's my wheelhouse too, about what are you putting in your body? What sugars, get rid of all those things. What were some of the things, the bravery you have, and to walk out of that doctor's office going, I'm going to get rid of you doctors, setting those boundaries, so cool. But what boundaries did you set around yourself to bring, I see the product behind you that brought you to say, I need to do something and I want to pay it forward. So how did you go down that path?
Well, I think, again, going back to the mindset is having an expansive mindset. It's about saying yes to even the things that you normally wouldn't have thought of or did. So for me, it was, making sure I had the right mindset, making sure I fed my mind nutrient-dense information. I fed my body nutrient-dense food. And I surrounded myself with supportive people that understood that for once I had to prioritize me. And whenever you prioritize yourself, you are saying no to someone or to something. And that can create conflict. And a lot of people want them to prioritize them over you, even when you have cancer. And let me give you an example. It could be like my mother, and I don't think she was aware of this, where because she was so scared for me, and her views on cancer is what she felt I should embrace. But that's not prioritizing me, that's prioritizing her. So I had to create boundaries where I had to tell people for once, including my children, I'm number one now. I come first. I've done such an amazing job being such an incredible mother. I know I'm really good at taking care of people. For once, I have to now take care of me. I know I'm really good at loving people. For once, I have to start loving me. And I didn't realize that I gave to everyone except to Veronica. And cancer has made me realize that I'm first.
Yes.
I live a life of boundaries. Unless, anytime, anything, I mean, I live my life where I'm always checking in with myself. Does this disturb my peace? If it does, out. Am I empty? Am I replenished? Am I recharged? I almost never have an empty cup because I do so much on a daily basis to make sure that I do many things that I feel where I'm feeling abundance of energy, of just joy even. So I think surrounding yourself with the right people that understand and won't take it personally, that you're taking yourself as now the number one priority. And also learning, acquiring skills, behaviors that are going to empower you in every way. And that's my life today. There's no BS. No BS. It's almost like my plate. There's no sugar, there's no bad fat. It's all goodness. It's all feeding me and healing me. So unless you fit into that category, you really can't be part of my life.
Wow. That's powerful to choose people to surround yourself with that are positive, keep that that believe in you. And that's a challenge at times because there's so many negative people in the world, because negativity breeds lots of anger and resentment that leads to disease. And I think that you can touch upon that more. But Jen, what question next do you have for Veronica?
Oh my gosh, I'm crying.
And before you ask the question, what did you hear Veronica say that you hear me preach all the time? All the time, right? Everything she just said. Put yourself first. If it doesn't fit in your wheelhouse, if it doesn't protect you, you don't come in my world, right? Veronica, that is so I'm like Jen, I was sitting here going with chills going, oh my gosh, I feel like you just recorded everything I've been saying. It was so amazing. Sorry, Jen, I didn't want to steal your thunder, but I just felt that coming through.
It's everything. Let me get more light. It's getting dark in here. Everything. Just this whole year has been about, okay, so for me, my word for this year is abundance.
Yes.
Everything's being manifested on the platform that I want, surrounding myself with the people like Neil and Pearl.
Well, I hope you're including me in that.
I'm such a good mother. I'm so good at taking care of myself. Other people, me, I'm like, I can't even cook at this point, and it's ridiculous. But everything that you talked about is exactly what I've gone through. Thanks, Pearl, for making me all
I'm sorry, Veronica, but it's so true. It's like when I work with women, it took me 15 years to realize that, Veronica. I put everybody first. And I think, and Neil, nothing against men, but I think for women, we're such nurturers that we think we're supposed to do that. And depending on what nationality you are, Italians, you have to take care of everybody else first. Spanish, everybody else comes first. And it's supposed to be the mom, the female, the wife, right? And until we start changing that, which I see the path happening, until we start realizing if you don't take care of you first, you can't take care of nothing in your life. And Veronica, for you to step forward in that and be even with cancer, I mean, with, you sometimes with that kind of diagnosis, you want everybody to surround you. And for you to say, listen, number one, doctor, I'm living more than 6 months. Get lost. Mom, I love you. And here's what we're doing. I mean, I don't want to go.
And an ex-boyfriend and an ex-boyfriend.
Right. And that's amazing. I mean, even in my world, I had to take my dad doesn't fit my boundaries. My dad is no longer in my life. And it's because for my health reasons and things. So I think it's powerful. I think women need to hear this. Women like Jen, who, is learning that it's okay to say yes to you. Because when you say yes to you, you take care of everything, including relationships, jobs, kids, all that. And you know what else happens, Veronica, when you do that? you're teaching your kids that it's okay to say no to other people when you put yourself first. And I am honored to be able to say I'm on this podcast with you, that you are resonating with that and that you are putting that out into the world.
Absolutely, because I believe that that's what got me sick. Because what I want to share too is, I mean, yes, I'm here to talk about cancer, but I think that it would be unfair to discuss what happened to me and not really take into account what happened before then. I was in a marriage that I should have left over a decade ago. But I believed, and I've been it's in my culture, Catholic, in my religion, that I have to stay until my kids left for college. I was miserable for over a decade. Imagine, your body keeps track of everything. And my body was keeping track of how sad, unhappy, unfulfilled, trapped, sad, angry, all of these emotions my body felt. And I masked, I escaped. We all do that. I lived such an inflammatory life that it got into my body.
Yes.
And the divorce, the actual divorce happening, the betrayal, when I could actually say, he betrayed me. That's when I got it.
So, Veronica, why is it people will suffer so much just to appease others, even if it's killing you?
I did it because of my children.
Right.
We all do it for certain reasons. Exactly. We all suffer.
I didn't want to ruin my children's lives. I thought that once they left for college, at least they can spread their wings and fly. They don't have to see anything at home.
So you did the great thing, but ultimately you suffered so much for it. But thank goodness you fought at the end. So what would you say that it was worth it, even doing that for your children, because you stayed? And you stayed just so you didn't want them to deal with the hardship that you went through.
I don't know if it was worth it.
That's the point. That's the point I'm making in all this. I
don't believe that. If I were to redo it, I would absolutely have left a long time ago.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. The eating up the different things inside, staying in a job you don't feel fulfilled with, that eats you up. It's not your spirit. It's not giving you the passion. It's hurting and dealing with
Neil,
things.
I lived a lie. I lived a lie. Your body doesn't like lies. Your body keeps track of the lies.
And Veronica,
and it'll affect you in certain ways. Your health. It'll affect your sleep. It'll affect your everything. Why do we do these things? We do it for other people, but is it worth the damage that we put to our health? And that's the question I'm asking, Veronica.
Well, I think first of all, you need to be aware. You have to have the awareness of the mind-body connection, right? Mind, body, soul. And at that time, I wasn't making those connections because my health was deteriorating. I kept taking antibiotics. I kept having these infections that, same ones all the time. I was pretty much very healthy because, in fact, when I went to the emergency doctor, which I don't remember her name, but she was wonderful to me. She said, "Oh, I think it's just a flu. You look too healthy." I was a competitive tennis player. I competed through USTA. I ate well. I raised my 3 children, educating them on nutrition. So it wasn't like we were eating bad food. So I knew it wasn't the food. But could I have been healthier? Absolutely, especially during my divorce. Yes, but I think it's it's never just one thing. It's the divorce diet, the sleepless nights, and just this crying, the emotions. I mean, I didn't realize I had so much tears, that I could cry that much, and I did. And but today, believe it or not, cancer, I don't bother asking myself, had I not gotten cancer? Because
you can't ask that.
No
but you can also look at moving forward. You're going to please yourself.
I got it.
Put yourself.
I got it.
You figured it out. And that's why you wrote the book, so that other people can too see your journey and how you can
And
inspire
you know,
others.
as a Veronica, as a child of a mother who should have divorced my father, I can tell you the lesson you just shared was that, you know, I always said to my mom, I wish you would have divorced dad, because my mom was Catholic too. I'm not supposed to get divorced, you know, even though my dad didn't believe in God, she was Catholic. You know, she said no. And I said, Mom, looking back, I know you can't change it. Life is the biggest thing I tell my clients, life is not a remote. You can't change it. And what you said, Veronica, is what I resonated to my mom. I said, Mom, I wish you would have taken care of you first and gone ahead and got the divorce, because this would have been probably different for us in our life. But it is what you can't change it. God put you on that path, right, Veronica? He put you in that path of doing what you did, and look what you're able to bring forward to the world. This is the benefit that we're getting out of it.
So I want to pass back. So Jen, I want to pass it back to you, if you can, and ask her that gratitude moment. She's pretty much shown that gratitude moment, but ask that question as we're close to running out of time.
Can I just share something that I wrote for my children?
Sure.
In the acknowledgement that I think is important for women. I really think that, if you don't mind, indulge me here. I said to my babies, Mirabella, Karina, and Stefan, my 3 treasures in life, I love you so much, and I wanted everything to be perfect for you.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to be this perfect mother while my heart was aching was one of the hardest roles I have ever played in my life. I hope one day you will understand that I couldn't just settle, because you, my darlings, were watching me. I'm the example. I didn't have a good example as a mother. I didn't have the best relationship with my mother. So I was desperate to have that with my daughters, and I did up until the divorce. We are all examples for each other. And, you know, the reason people ask me, you know, don't think bad about yourself. I said, I know who I am. I never did anything bad. This is not karma. I don't believe in karma, because otherwise all of us would have a terrible life. Okay. There's no saint here. So it can't be karma. I am meant to have this cancer so that I can do something about it and help other people. And that's what I'm doing. Cancer, this experience has given me my next purpose in life. It's because of cancer that I live my life every day with gratitude. I could not walk. Taking a step requires breathing. Crossing the street was the scariest thing during cancer, because you're allowed 19 seconds. In LA, I couldn't cross the street in 19 seconds. It took me close to a minute. I'm not kidding you. I couldn't carry a purse because I didn't have the strength. I had dropped to skin and bones to 89 pounds within 48 hours.
My goodness.
So this was a very aggressive cancer but I knew it was serious, and I knew I had to act fast. And I just turned my life upside down and changed everything. And behind me, as you can see, are my products of cannabis. And because I use cannabis, and thank God, somebody has sent me an angel that introduced me to the idea of CBD and cannabis. I had never used it before. And like I said, if you told me there's a rat that could potentially heal me, cure me, I'd pick up that rat and cook something delicious.
Yeah, so there you go.
Anything to heal me. And that's why I did cannabis. And now I created a line of, cancer specific medicinal cannabis that's cancer focused. What I did from my kitchen now, it's available for people, because what happened in the past is I would talk to people about my story and I would help them. And they would look so hopeful. You can see, and I know I've been there. Every time you talk to someone, you're always hoping to get something to give you a little more hope. And I see this reaction of like hope, and then I'll tell them about my cannabis. the suppositories I created for my own kitchen. And they're like, oh my God, they're so excited. Up until I tell them, they'll ask me, so where can I buy this? And I'm like, you can't. I made them in my kitchen. And I felt so bad. Then I thought, well, it's like the book. I wrote the book that wasn't there when I needed it. Well, I created these products for other people who need it.
That's tremendous. So, Jen, I'm going to let you get, you've got your gratitude answer now. So I know you want to follow up with that.
I want to have you on. I want to have you back on, and we have to talk about your own podcast. It's incredible. Really, really, really incredible, because when I started taking CBD, my hair stopped turning white, completely stopped turning white. I became rogue in my own life.
Wow.
Everything about being a mother. And Pearl has been so good. So these are like my angels that have come, that have like come alongside me. And we are all going into success together. And that, I think, is the best part of the whole gratitude, is seeing it, believing it, and moving in that direction. One thing I ask everybody on the show is, do you have one gratitude moment that stands out that has brought you where you are now?
She's thinking about it.
Being able to climb the stairs again. I remember that day. Being able to play tennis again. I never thought I could play tennis and compete. And then when I did, serving at out, I'm like, this is a piece of cake. Nerves? Are you kidding me? I'm not nervous. I feel like I've cracked the code on how to be happy and how to feel free.
That's great. Wow.
And most of us are in our own prison created by us, self-induced.
Right.
And I'm not there.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. And it's people like yourselves. I always believe that. We talked about the ecosystem earlier before I think we were recording. You know, anyone who comes across me and wants to talk to me, you become part of that ecosystem that's helping people spread the word that they don't have to think that cancer is a death sentence. It could be a life sentence, so that you can have the life that you are meant to have.
Yes.
But here, this is my other message. Please use my story. I don't want you getting cancer so that you can have a life sentence. Use my story so that this way it wakes you up, that you realize that life, we're here to discover who we are, to master who we are, and to find out our why. Why do we exist? And as soon as we know and have answered all those questions, to turn around and help other people.
Amen, sister.
That's great.
That's why I'm here. And I thank all of you for being part of my journey.
Wow. I mean, I'm blown away. Pearl, any other things to add before Jen sends us off?
I just want to say, Veronica, I just think, I've met so many different women in my life that have been an inspiration, and you're up there at the top for me today. I just think your story, your message, so many, as I said earlier, need to hear. And I'm glad that we got the honor to have you on our show and be able to get that message out more. And I can't wait till this gets out, because this is going to be one of our podcasts that are going to be very heavily watched. I can already feel it. So thank you for having a confidence in us and sharing your story.
Absolutely. Thank you. No, it's two ways, everyone, two ways.
All right. Okay, Jen, go ahead and send it off, and we'll find out information.
I've never had so many happy tears and like, yes, that happened. That happened to me, and I'm not alone. And you said it, and I validated it, and I validated you, and you validated me on getting through this, because we're all in this together. Yeah. And when it happens, you are T-boned. And when you need to do things that help you, get through this. And that's why I wanted to give to so many more people with GRN and have a life coach like Pearl. And you're mirroring everything that she's been saying. When I first saw her on stage, I said, I know I want to work with that woman in my life. And it's happened. And to have you going in that direction is so powerful.
It
I'm
is.
so excited about your products. I want to have you back on the show so you can go and have a part 2. This seems like a very sacred show, doesn't it, Pearl? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Are you crying too?
All right. So I guess I'll let Jen, when she's ready, to send off. But Veronica, tell us about your products and book, where we can find
Thank
those.
you.
And I'll just throw her back. So tell us.
You can find me, veronicavillanueva.com. That is the website where that's my coaching and my nutrition and my, health coaching company. And then there's AliveWellThrive.com, which I'm so, so proud of. And Alive, Well, Thrive are the 3 healing stages I put myself through, where first you have to choose to be alive. You have to make a conscious and intention of being alive. Then you can't just say that. You can't just make that announcement without taking actions and being well. And that's eating right, making all the, lifestyle changes, and to one day thrive again. And that's why I called my company AliveWellThrive.com. And that has all my CBD and my medicinal cannabis specifically for cancer people. And everything that I use to be alive today is behind me.
Wow.
As you can see. And I am so proud of this. And I have this partner who is an amazing man, and he deals with pediatric epilepsy. It's how he got into cannabis, because his daughter, who is now 16, when she was a baby, got vaccinated and got epilepsy as a side effect. And the doctor said that, this child is not going to live for a long time. She's now 16, thanks to her father, who is now my business partner, who's, educated himself on cannabis. And between me and him, we were meant to partner together because he's an angel. He's an angel to many children. In fact, he has a book, The Faces of Cannabis, thousands of kids he has saved.
Fantastic. All right. So that's definitely might have to have both of you guys on the show, and we'll just talk about different things and different projects as I'll reach back out to you, Veronica, to set up something. But Jen, ready to send it off, or you want me to?
Did we get all of your social media?
Oh, no, social media. So the social media is the Veronica Villanueva. And then Alive, Well, Thrive is for all the products. And yeah, it's medicinal. We are probably, if not the only one with such a robust line for medicinal. And I thank the recreational cannabis for paving the road to medicinal. And I really believe that the medicinal, that's the other thing, is I am such an advocate because I really believe that is a huge reason why I am alive today.
It's definitely, so people definitely need to check that out. And Jen, are you ready to send this off now?
I am. Thank you so much for being with us today on your beautiful day. Thank you all for listening to us and all of the nuggets that we've been given of inspiration, of gratitude through Veronica Villanueva. Thank you so much for being with us on this show. And everybody go read her book, The Grace of Cancer. And
here it is.
There it is. There it is.
It's a little strange because I have of my...
So amazing when something so devastating can come into your life and it's turned around for the good of not just you, but everybody that comes in contact. Remember, as I always said, say it together. We're blessed, we're loved, and we're sacred. Have a beautiful day. I love you. Mwah.
Thank you.